Get Known, Be Seen WebTV. I'm Trish Springsteen, your host, and it's my absolute delight to have as my guest today, Tammy Richie. Welcome, Tammy.
Thank you so much for having me, Trish. It's my pleasure to be here.
Absolutely delighted to have you from the Gold Coast in Australia, and look at where Tammy is right now. Beautiful setting, absolutely.
Yes.
Mind you, it's been raining and it wasn't quite so good before, but it is now.
Yeah.
So before we get to have a real great conversation, Tammy, because there's a lot of things that we want to talk about, let's just find out a bit more about what Tammy does. And I love it. Okay, so Tammy, let me have a look. Tammy has a couple of businesses, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why and how she manages all of those things. So her business is Zenarah. She has First Aid Yucan2 and Yucan2. She showcases healthy lifestyling and life-saving and lifestyle products on a global online marketplace. When she's not so busy doing that, she's also a speaker and she's a mentor. Now let's see. Drawn from suffering every parent's worst nightmare, with a desire to help others avoid the pain, and then the traumatic events with her and her children failing health over time, Tammy intimately understands how to overcome life's greatest challenges and how to live by their design. She feels blessed to overcome and endure these experiences, as her life has never been the same since, and realized they were key to tune into her heart space and live her best life whilst inspiring others to do the same. And that's such an awesome inspiration there. She's passionate about working on herself every day and loves seeing synchronicities show often as a result, and loves sharing with others to do the same. Tammy has also recently teamed up with another incredible expert, where her vision was recently launched a global online marketplace, Zenarah, adding to her passions by showcasing healthy, life-saving and lifestyle products where collaboration is at the forefront. And I absolutely love collaboration. Wow, Tammy, there is an enormous amount of story in there.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can start unpacking just a little bit about where you've come from and where you are now in the short space of time we've got. So we might have to just hit the highlights.
Yes, definitely. So, you want me to start? Okay, sorry.
Tammy, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining in to beautiful Trish's TV show, Get Known, Be Seen, Web TV. And I love collaborating with people like Trish, because she's out there trying to show you guys that your message matters, that your voice matters, and to get out there and be seen and to boost your profile so that people then they like, love and trust what you do. And so I'm no different. I've done exactly the same. Just like you guys at home, I came from, I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. And, sometimes things can happen that can really take our breath away. And I'm no different to you guys, because the exact thing happened to me. But it's not just big things that happen, it's the little things as well. So I analysed my life through my childhood and my battles and my journey through there, being an adopted child and an unwanted adopted child at that. So, losing everything that I knew from day one is where I first built my first strength and resilience. And all of that strength and resilience going through my childhood was there to enable me to rise up. And I use all of those tools throughout my whole journey of my life when different things have occurred. So I kind of like to look at myself as Dorothy on the yellow brick road, because, as I'm going along, we already have the things inside us that help us, the tools. But life happens. And sometimes it can really cloud our vision. And sometimes when things happen, we don't think that we have the tools to be able to assist us to grow and to overcome. But if you just stop for a moment, and I'm going to share some of the tips and tools that I use in a little while, but if you just stop for a moment and get out of your head, the head is the thing that tries to keep you safe at all times. And if I listened to my head in one of my major incidents where my little boy had a drowning incident, my head was telling me the day I was unpacking boxes when he went missing that he was playing with toys in another room, because he was 16 months of age, and he totally could have been. However, because I had done the work on myself my whole life, that is the gift, that's the blessing, because there wasn't any dismissing. My heart was telling me, was pushing me to go looking for my son. And although I didn't go to the exact place it was telling me, because my head was trying to justify how did he get into that place, you know, he couldn't possibly get in there. I would have heard something, a splash, a scream, or whatever. It did cause me to get over myself and begin the search. Room after room, box after box. I couldn't locate him anywhere. Can you just imagine that, being a parent, not being able to locate your own child, especially when they were right within your sight, when you were busy doing some work and they just went missing? So when I actually took the steps to where I was led, which actually happens to be every parent's worst nightmare, you can just imagine my absolute horror when he was floating and unconscious on the top of the water, which meant that he'd already drowned. He'd gone down and then he was floating on the top of the water. If I was in my head space, in fact, I was initially, because I was trying to give my power to other people. I was yelling out, screaming out for neighbors, for someone to come and help me, and no one else was there. So I had to get over myself. I had to just slap myself around and get over myself. And I raced inside in particular and tried to call 000 on my home phone, which is the emergency number here in Australia, and it wasn't connected. It was just all I could think about. My head was telling me, how can you tell your husband and children that our little guy, the one that we tried for, is no longer going to be with us? It couldn't be in the equation. So I had to quickly take a deep breath. And that was something that intuitively occurred. So it was, I believe it was divine intervention saying, get over yourself, just take a deep breath. That deep breath allowed me to get out of this space, because I was an engineer at that time as well for 17 years. So it allowed me to get out of that space and go into this space, the heart space. And the heart space is actually 16 times more powerful than the brain, but often we don't go there, we don't listen. This is our inner GPS from God. It's like, you know, when you want to put on a map and you want to go somewhere and you follow your global system, this is exactly what it is, but it's for us and identifying our purpose and our gifts. So fortunately, when I took that breath and it allowed me to get into this space, it told me to get over myself. It's not about me. It was about him. And if I didn't do anything, something, it didn't need to be perfect, because how often in life do we decide not to do something? We're on the precipice of actually launching something or doing something. And then all of a sudden your head says, oh, what's people going to say? You know, blah, blah, blah. It's just white noise. I had to get out of that noise, right? And the heart space caused me to go, just try something. It doesn't need to be perfect. So that with that, I lay him down and I tried something shakily, and it wasn't perfect. And the first rotation, nothing happened. But when the second rotation happened and he started breathing, it changed my life forever. See, how can you unknow this stuff? How can I just say this happened to me, whereas it happened actually for me, to identify the story? There's always a deeper meaning, even when you have an argument with someone, or, you know, something goes on, or, you know, even someone says something to you that offends you. What is it in you that you need to learn? We're not going to project that on the other person and say, what are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's about us. We're on this planet and we are evolving. We're having an earth experience. And you know what? You can come here and you can be unfulfilled and you can just go through the paces and it can be really boring and life can happen just like that. You can get to the end of your life and haven't actually achieved anything. Or you can do these tips and tools, get out of your head, get into your heart and really just live your best life and see the unlimited possibilities absolutely everywhere.
I know which one I choose.
That's the thing. And see, often in life, I'm an energy person, Trish, and I just feel energy wherever I go, you know. And you know, I walk into a room and I can sense the energy straight away. I can sense if people have got good intentions, if they're unfulfilled, if they're not happy. It's not just body language, it's energy to me, and energy to me is absolutely everything. So doing the tips and tools to actually identify and align with that energy and align with your heart space is the most powerful thing you can do. And it allows you to see the unlimited possibilities, because after my son's incident, I knew I needed to get out there. I needed to share, scream it from the rooftops. Every parent needed to know this message, because I'm not unique. It can happen to anyone, and 20 seconds can change your life forever. And in fact, it did for me. So immediately being in that high energy space, because of the tools and tips I had worked on myself over the years, allowed the media to contact me, not the other way around. Suddenly I was thrust into the media, and I thought, how can I go back to my engineering when I've got this massive message to deliver to the world? I don't know what I'm doing. I wasn't in business, and I didn't need to know. Often in life, we think we need a business plan and blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff scares me. The thing is, what I focus on is the outcome I want to go to. And then I allow and do my tips and tools every day, and I allow the synchronicities to just show up.
Awesome.
I am going to share some of those tips and tools in a little while.
Yep.
But, it's like, as I said, Dorothy on the Yellow Brick Road, once that company was very highly sought after, won international business awards. I'm so proud of that. That legacy will continue well after my passing. But then there's always more. So then it's like, it just keeps on unraveling. Sorry, Trish, you want to ask something?
No. Look, I think that's awesome, because what you've given us is an insight of moments in our lives that can become pivotal moments, that if we listen to them and go with them, can take us in completely different directions. And I know exactly where you come from, because I've had some moments in my life that have been like that as well.
Yes.
That led you to, I can see that led you to the first aid. That's
yes.
Just share. How many sort of businesses have you got at the moment? Just very briefly. I don't want to go into all of them, but just give me an idea, and then we can hone in on a couple of those, and how you managed to mesh them all together.
Yeah. Okay. So currently I'm running 4 businesses.
4.
Yeah. So, as I said, like the first aid training company, that's my baby. That's my passion. That's the thing that got me into this space. So, I deliver certified training with all the universities. Again, I didn't reach out to them. They contacted me.
Mm-hmm.
So being in that energy space, when you're working on yourself, it's kind of like, if you think of a dartboard, we're in the center of the dartboard and we can stay there. But if we have a desire to better ourselves, to be the best version of ourselves, and we do the work on ourselves every single day, the dartboard comes out like this. And you've got people like Oprah and, Lisa Nichols is one of my coaches, Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker. They're on the outer. And here you are. Okay. But as you keep on working on yourself every single day, then that's how energy alignment happens, because you're working on yourself, you're increasing your energy vibration, and that's how synchronicities happen, because you're in the same energy space. If you didn't work on yourself, you're still in that little area. So when I say I run multiple businesses and how they all kind of mesh together, what actually happened is people then started asking me, and obviously I'm in the media and I was speaking already and shouting from the rooftops of my story. So it wasn't just about the training, it was about sharing the story that this can happen to absolutely anyone, even though people don't believe it can, just sharing that, hey, I'm authentic, I'm real, I'm a mom, you know what I mean? I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. And, it's aligned me to my purpose. Okay. So then people started asking, and then it was quite obvious to me that I needed to create other trainings where, okay, how did I get from this engineering space to jumping on this precipice and overcoming the fears and just doing it? Because when your why is bigger than your why not, you become unstoppable. But I had to make the decision to leave a whole career, which is really gutsy. And a lot of people don't get that. But the thing is, if I was going back, I was on maternity leave, if I was going back to that engineering degree where I was no longer fulfilled, like I'd made it to the top of my ceiling. I work with a lot of men. I was one of the only females in that male-dominated space. And it was fun when I did it. I had some amazing experiences that most women would never get to do. But it was at the top of the ceiling. So I needed to do all that. So then the tools and tips that I did to actually overcome that, to send the energy to the desired outcome I wanted with the training, became quite valuable to people. I also immersed in personal development with some of the world's best coaches in the world. like T. Harv Eker, Tony Robbins, Lisa Nichols, Blair Singer, a whole ton of them saw something in me, which was really incredible. So I did a lot of their training and then immersed in that environment and and that allowed me to create my own training and my own speaking ventures and my own retreats and workshops and all those kinds of things. So that was where people would just thrive and come.
Mhm.
It was a gift to be able to allow them, because as I said, this was my story. But I don't want people to actually have another massive adversity to wake them up to their own story, when all they really need to do is the tips and tools and actually have believe in their truth. If they're like doing a job that's not fulfilling them and they think, well, hang on, how do I get out of that and start a whole new career? And people get stuck, right, all the time.
Right.
But it's like, doing the work and then being open to listening and seeing, because you could quite easily walk past the person in the street that and might not have any conversation or any kind of point, or you could quite actually bump into that person, have that connection, and then the infinite possibilities just come. And so that's what Yucan2 was about. But from Yucan2, I had to also, during this whole period, I got very sick as well. I had a couple of autoimmune diseases. And, when you are diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, they give you medication. It's not good, like heavy treatments. And I was on that for 8.5 years. And I knew, everything inside me knew that this was a gift as well, because everything is a gift if you can see it. I know I'm optimistic, but everything is a gift. God gives us these things because we are strong enough, and it was emotional disturbances from my childhood. So obviously I had to do a lot of healing work to get to overcoming, but I did overcome after 8.5 years, and that was so invaluable. So there is different modalities and everything that, I do help people with their healing journeys as well, but I also recommend other modalities as well. But what I noticed is also during that period, I had to be conscious of what went in, on and around my body, because I also got sick from being in New Guinea, washing in the waters, actually just water in a creek. And, I developed a thing called schistosomiasis that was actually immersed in my skin. So it came in, and this parasite was eating my liver, which actually triggered the autoimmune response, as well as the emotional stuff. There's lots of different things that can trigger autoimmune diseases, but in my case, that's what it was. So I was like, wow, that just came from water. So we really need to be consciously aware of what goes in, on and around our body, and what we're eating, what we're putting in, what we're ingesting, what we're injecting, all those kinds of things that people just aren't aware of. And so that became another passion. I manifested this gorgeous property, because we manifest absolutely everything. So even the drowning, I manifested, right? But this is a definite manifestation, because it's not just a property. It's not just 2.5 acres of beautiful trees. It is a healing property. It's high energy. I have healing trees on here. And the healing trees that I have, I'm just doing a collaboration at the moment with some Aboriginals. And it's pretty amazing. So it all started from one tree, which is a healing tree known as the Gumby Gumby. But from there, because I'm so connected, because I'm a connections queen, because of the work I've done on myself and the people that I meet, I was able to connect all of these people I met with the Aboriginals to actually make action happen. Because you can talk about stuff all you like, but unless you do the action, it's like The Secret. People talk about The Secret and they go, oh, you know what, the law of attraction, blah, blah, blah. The most important thing of that is the action. If you don't do the action, it doesn't happen. So, these people were doing stuff, but for 12 years, I believe. And then I come along, they call me G.I. Jane, and they're like, oh my goodness. And what it was is that I only have one tree here, but people do come to my property, they do grab leaves, they do make tea, and it's pretty amazing for their health. Okay. But I also send the leaves off as well, but I only have one tree and I don't do things by halves. So I want to actually save the world. So how am I going to do that with the one tree? And the answer for me was the Aboriginals, because it's their tree. And so how do you actually then get involved? Because I don't just get involved with anyone, but it was through synchronicities, and that's how that connection kind of happened. And then how now I'm involved in it all. And it's exciting because isn't just about the one tree now. It's about multiple different native fauna and flora that we have in our own country that is going to be launched in products. So Trish, I guess it's kind of like, there are possibilities everywhere, but when I have all of those things available to me, and then, we also, my husband and I invested in mosquito traps, for instance, because I was, I was bitten by the mosquito in New Guinea. So all of these passions and stuff like that. So this is a natural trap that actually attracts the females, which bite, and it frees up your space. So when I was speaking at events and everything, and people were curious about all these different things that I've overcome, I was saying, yeah, go get this here, go get that there, go get that there, or come to me for, whatever products I have, kind of thing. And it became overwhelming. And to me, I felt, oh my goodness, I feel like I've got this big overcoat on because I have overcome so much, right? And I'm leading them to this place, to that place, to that place. And I didn't want to be like that. So what the solution for me was to create a platform, which is Zenarah, and it's an online marketplace. So we could showcase not only our own products, but anything in the categories that lights me up, that are my passion. So anything to do with health related, anything to make you feel happy every single day, like lifestyle, and of course the life saving. And so Zenarah was actually a vision of mine for about 2 years, and every single day, when you go to visualize, and it's one of the tips and tools I'll share, if you add feeling to that, so it's not just 3D, like on a vision board as such, but you go further than that, further than your mind movies even. Like, you don't question it, you just see it as done, like I did with the training academy with the first aid training. I didn't know how I was doing anything, but the thing is, all of a sudden, bingo, I go, oh my goodness, where is this? I've won international business awards with this, and I've never had a business degree in sight. But it's like, what can we create? What can we, what if we didn't need to know the how? Because we don't need to know the how. We just need to send the energy to the outcome that we desire. And I could see it as done, didn't know how. And, then I manifested or met the most amazing guy that I have done a lot of personal development with around the world. We're like brother, sister anyway. He actually originates from India. So he has a lot of influence in India, Singapore, Malaysia. He initially asked me just before COVID to be his speaker on health in those countries. But obviously with COVID happening, it kind of didn't happen. But the thing is, he flew to the Gold Coast to ask me. And when he did, I was telling him about my platform. I'm like, if I'm going to speak on health, I want to be able to direct people to my platform, but it's not actually created right now. And then all of his expertise came in, and he's actually an online marketing specialist, an IT specialist. And I wasn't even aware of that, because I knew him as a speaker. And then he's just given me all this feedback. And I'm like, hang on a minute, that just sounds like mumble jumble to me. I don't have to be an expert in that. I'm like, hang on, I think you're my missing piece to my puzzle. That I think that if we came together and worked with our strengths, that we'll just be unstoppable. And that's exactly what happened. So Zenarah was launched during COVID, in May last year. And one of our mentors gave us a coaching session at that time, just after we launched, and said, give people what they want. What do people want right now? They're stuck in their homes, they're ordering online, and actually online sales have gone up dramatically during COVID. They want healthy stuff because, they're they're actually now believing that you can get sick, so they're looking more, they're taking ownership of their own health rather than going to pharmaceuticals or to the doctors and, giving the power to them. They're going, hang on a minute, I can do stuff myself because the body can heal as long as it's given the right stuff. So with all of those things in mind, it was like the perfect time to launch. And that's what we did. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And people, look, you need to probably press stop, rewind, and listen again to what Tammy said, because out of all of that, there are some brilliantly gold nuggets for you, as in resilience, as in putting your mind to where you want to go and just go for it. As if you believe in yourself and own who you are, opportunities will come, and then you just need to take what I call 60 seconds of insane courage and say yes to those opportunities, because look what's happened. And if you listen to what Tammy's story has been that she's just shared with us, you're going to see that those are the milestones out of that story. And they're not things just for Tammy. They're things that you can do. So thanks so much for sharing that, because that story of yours and where you've come really highlights what opportunities people can have if they start to listen and if they start to believe.
Absolutely,
Uh,
because often they give their power away.
yeah,
But I love how you just summarised that and shared the most powerful gold nuggets there, because they do need to remind themselves that they are good enough. They're chosen to be here. They all have a purpose, and if they could do simple things to get into their heart space, yeah, absolutely, everything is available to them.
absolutely. So before I get you to maybe share 2 or 3 of these techniques that you've been just hinting about,
Yeah,
just a couple that people can take away
yeah, sure.
and start to work on getting where they need to be.
Yeah, of course, because obviously there's I mean, it's called my hour of power, which is actually a bit more than an hour I do every single day. But if you can do it in the most perfect environment for you, where your soul is nurtured. So it could be out in Mother Nature. Like, all of you might not be as fortunate as what I am, to be living on the Gold Coast, to be able to take your shoes off and immerse in the sand, or the beach or something. But we do have beauty around us. I'm sure you can find a place where you just feel, where your heart and your soul just tells you that, this is it. This is where I can do my breath work. And so usually and again, allowing us to get into our heart space is an actually easy thing to do through breath. Jay Shetty he went, I'm sure your viewers might have heard of Jay Shetty. He actually went to become a monk at monk school, and he did all the training and studies, and then they kicked him out. So he didn't actually become a monk, but he's got all these philosophies and learnings and stuff. And I just love him. I really resonate with him. I really relate to him. But I remember one of the stories that he shared was how, when he first visited and he went overseas to actually commence his journey, he was quite blown away that a 12-year-old was teaching the little 5-year-olds how to breathe. That's one of their first lessons that they learn. Whereas here in our country, in westernized society, we learn the ABCs. So there's something powerful about that, like if you think about it, and it is a really simple thing, because if you wake up in the morning and you're in your head and you're thinking about, oh my goodness, what am I going to do today? You're already, giving your energy away, giving your power away to others.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to tune in your power. So when you wake up in the morning, and I'm sure that you've heard this several times before, but it's just a reminder of how powerful it is to wake up and actually look at the gratitude, look at where you are. There's so many people in third world countries, and I've been blessed to travel a lot of third world countries, and those people are so happy kicking a rock around. And why is it that we're not happy where we are? It's like an education, I suppose. It's something that we're all following of each other, that we've got to strive for the next best thing. The next best thing is going to make us happy. Hang on a minute, why not be happy now?
Absolutely.
Look at the things that are around you right now. It doesn't need to be a beautiful property. It doesn't need to be whatever. It's like, you know what? You've got your health, you've got your family, you've got whatever you've got in your life. I must say, Trish, I've also broken my back and had to learn how to walk again. So none of this stuff is coming from regurgitated stuff. This is stuff that I've had to use, because obviously having to learn how to walk again and being told that I'm going to be in a wheelchair for life and having major surgeries full on. But the thing that helped me was the energy, because we have a certain amount of energy in our bodies. If we fill it up with all the things that are wrong, because what's wrong is always available, and so is what's right. But if we fill it up with what's right, we're going to attract more of that. So you're asking effectively for what you want. So if you wake up in the morning, you go, you know what, I've got to get brekkie for the kids, I've got to do this, and you're grudging through it. It's kind of like you're setting yourself up for failure for the day. But if you just take some time out, even if you set your alarm 20 minutes, half an hour before everyone else, and you just lie there and you think, oh my goodness, what is it that's beautiful in my life right now? It doesn't need to be materialistic. It needs to be, the breath, the skin that we have on our bodies. Some people don't have legs. Me having to learn how to walk again, like, I jump into life. I do marathons. I do Kikoda. I do crazy stuff, because you know what? Having that almost taken away from me has made me the most grateful person. So we don't need to have big adversities like that to be grateful, but gratitude is one of the first things. And then we'll start with breath. So when we do that breath work, the breath work is actually immersing and seeing the positive energy coming in through our head chakra, through all of our body. It's like a liquid elixir coming through. You're just breathing in through your nose and you're holding it. You're breathing in for 6 seconds and you're getting it right down to your lower belly. So it's not here. A lot of people breathe to there. We need to open up all channels and bring this beautiful elixir into our bodies and feel the energy and feel the love that's all around us. And, if you don't feel love around you, easy way to do that is to give love, give a smile, you're going to get it back, right? So
you absolutely do.
You're just going to fill it up. So breathe down deep, hold it for 6 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. And that's all the things that are no longer serving you. So, if someone said something hurtful to you, it's their stuff. It's not your stuff. It's their stuff. Often we take it personally and like, why did they say that? I need to be perfect for everyone. I was an ultimate people pleaser at once as well. And what I found is we're never sometimes going to be good enough for people, but we need to be good enough for us. We need to be our biggest fans. And so the breath work will allow that to happen. So breathing in and then the breathing out, getting rid of all the stuff that's no longer serving us. And you can identify it and call it a name. And often if you go back to your old ways and, your head is talking you out of something when you have an opportunity, recognize it.
Awesome.
Go, oh, thank you so longer. I no longer need this, whatever, you can call it whatever name you want, Frida or whatever. Thank you. I no longer need this. Vaporize it. Because what would happen if you changed it? Yeah. What would happen if you started saying yes to you? And that's really a good example for people to do that, to start saying yes to things. I did an exercise with Lisa Nichols many years ago, and it was quite interesting because, how often do we say no to our kids? No, and then they get used to that. No. And it's kind of like something that they get used to as well. And it becomes a recording and a vicious cycle for them. What if you started saying yes, even if it was just for 24 hours and they said, can I have an ice cream? Yes. Can I have a lolly? Yes. You're just adding fun to it. And it's just amazing what you can do. So breath work is really good. I've got one more tip to share, if that's okay.
Yep.
Because I can just keep on going, but
we're going to have to pull it in, unfortunately. I knew we would run out of time. I just have so much to share. The energy is so brilliant.
I just love, and I do love, the more you give, the more you receive back. So it's kind of like these tools need to be shared, and so often in our life, and I encourage your viewers to sit down and write down there's different emotions that we're going to use, right? So if we think of proud, if they write down proud, they write down happy, they write down love, laughter, and excitement. Now, in their own time, and it's going to be quite difficult in the beginning because we're so used to, society teaches us not to be our biggest fan. Society teaches us to give our power to other people, but we need to be our biggest fan, particularly in our own time. Those of us that are successful, it's not by chance we're successful, it's because of the work that we do in our private time. And so you need to be your biggest fan. So an easy way to do that, because as I mentioned to you, the world's filled with negative energy from TV and wherever else, right? So we want to fill our cup and fill all of our energy with this positive energy. Easy way to do that first thing in the morning is to think of what, something that you're proud of, that you've achieved, and go through all the different emotions, the happy, the excited, the laughter, and the love. And they're actually things that have occurred in your life. So they're real to you, but you've done it and you've totally forgotten about it. Why did you forget? You know what I mean? It's remembering to go back to those memories. Now, you're looking at it from a different perspective this time. So this time you're out here in a helicopter looking down on yourself when you're a little girl, looking down on yourself to see, oh my goodness, I was so proud when that teacher said that to me. I was bursting at the seams. And you want to actually bring in as many emotions as you can, see yourself there, hear what you've heard and feel it. Really just bring that in. Okay. And often I'll do three incidents with each of those emotions to really it's called stacking, and really just stack it up to get this energy. So then you've got this massive energy that you're starting your day out there. So someone says something nasty to you, it's not going to penetrate.
Yeah, go. Awesome.
That's right.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Look, And again, people stop, rewind, because you just need to really concentrate on those 3 tips that Tammy has given you, because they will be the foundation for you, not only just to start your day, but to start yourself in whatever venture you want. Because you can take the energy from that then to be the things that you want to do the energy, take your business to change what you want to change. You've got that energy from those 3 tips that Tammy shared with you. So thank you so much for that. Tammy, we could be here all day talking. Unfortunately, I don't think people will want to listen to 5 hours. I need a little bit of a break.
Yes.
So just before we go, let me just give us just very briefly your biggest tip, because we're around getting known, being seen, your biggest tip for getting out there and saying, here I am. What's the biggest thing that's worked for you?
Okay, so obviously those tips that I've already shared, those 3 tips, which is
That's
giving
the
you
energy that really helps you. That's
really giving you the energy. And you need to be out there, people need to like, love, and really believe in what you're doing and trust what you're doing. So building relationships is key for me. When you're building a relationship, it's great to, you don't want to be regurgitating your stuff onto someone else, but we have 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. So we want to actually make everyone that we meet feel absolutely special. And if we can refer, if we can recommend their services to others, do it. That's been the biggest thing for me. I'm known as the manifesting connections queen. People come to me with all sorts of requests. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, what on earth? What's this request? It's because I'm known, because I'm like a Refidex, because I've spent the time having the coffees, building a relationship. So that's one thing. And, getting on podcasts like, Trisha's wonderful podcast as well, because obviously it's kind of like a bit of a collaboration. We're sharing it amongst our networks. She's sharing it. We're adding value to people's lives. So it's pretty amazing. And then people then start to get to know you, because it's not just you need to be out there to be known. So networking, friends, the podcast shows, speaking at events, speaking for free at events. So then you can just add value, constantly adding value to people's lives.
Absolutely awesome. I endorse that completely, because it is, as I said to people, the best person that can speak about your business, your book, your product, whatever it is you got, is you.
Yes.
But we have such a mindset and a blockage, and we just think we can sit back and it doesn't happen. So thank you, Tammy, because you have.
I just wanted to add to that. Just when people do have the fears, because I understand they do have the fears, and they don't want to speak, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to be on a podcast, because what will people say? What will people think? Blah, blah, blah. What they need to realize is your story has nothing at all to do about you. Nothing. It's about what you can offer to others, how we can come from a serving space. And when you actually change that mindset and go, you know what, I'm just here serving and I'm giving, that's going to allow you to actually seek opportunities yourself to make this happen and get out there to the world. So I hope that's really helped your viewers as well.
Oh, look, absolutely agree. As I said, I usually challenge my mentoring clients, and that I say, are you a selfish person? And of course, people will say, no, I don't want to be selfish. I say, well, if you let your fear, your blockages stop you from sharing something, then you're being selfish, because there's just one person out there that maybe needs to hear 2 or 3 words you've said. And if you let your fear stop that, you're holding that in and they're not going to hear it. So why be selfish? It's absolutely true what you say. It is not about you. It's never is. It's about the people you touch, the people who need to hear you, people who need to see you. And that's where it's simple and as scary as that.
Yes.
But it's there. You believe in yourself.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. Those are brilliant, brilliant gold nuggets for my viewers. Now you have a free gift to do with your new online marketing, Zenarah. Would you like to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I love giving gifts away, and Trisha's gone, okay, you got to stop with so many gifts, but we're going to give you a couple of really good ones as well. Because Zenarah is my baby. I'm really proud of what we've achieved, and we have got quite a lot of customers globally. So what I want to offer to your viewers, Trish, is they join Zenarah. There's no cost to join as a customer. So they join, they subscribe, they have a look around, and then it will be my absolute pleasure to offer them 15% off their first purchase on Zenarah, because it's a marketplace, by just adding the word Zenarah in a shopping cart. There's a coupon part up there, so they'll get 15% off there. If you do have any viewers out there that we've tried to stir their soul a little bit and they do have products, or they, they're like hiding behind themselves and they're like, you know what, I want to create this product. If they're in any of the categories that I mentioned, healthy, life-saving, lifestyle, get in contact with us. It'd be my absolute pleasure to be able to offer them 1 month's free subscription to be able to, for us to showcase on Zenarah as well. And it is very affordable fees to be able to, we do the marketing, so it allows them to create their products and then we get them out there to the world through collaboration. We also have an opportunity for those of your viewers that are quite influential and well known and have spent the time to do that, where they can partner with us at Zenarah. And in reward of that, if they actually share, and there's other people that buy shops or have shops on Zenarah as well, it would be our absolute pleasure to be able to give them 5%. The person that has introduced us, 5% from every single sale for the lifetime of that business as well. So it is about giving. But we understand that we're only, one person or 2 people in the business. So it's about collaborating, coming together and sharing the love and, rewarding the people that are rewarding us as well.
Absolutely brilliant, people. And I love that one word that has actually appeared all the way through is collaboration. And yes. I just think that's a word that if only we owned more and we stepped up and appreciated it, we'd get so much more in our lives. It's just brilliant. Together we can do more. When we collaborate, we do amazingly awesome things. So love that. And I'll have all those details below for people. And
just another thing for when people are out there doing the things. I don't know if anyone's heard of Roger Hamilton, Wealth Dynamics. He has a profiling thing. It's actually Wealth Dynamics, and it identifies what your strengths are. So it's an invaluable tool. It's not very expensive either. You can download it, do it, and fill in the questionnaire, and you'll have a whole 4-page printout, and you can kind of go, oh my goodness, yes, I'm good at that. Yes, I'm good at that. Yes, I'm good at that. And work with your strengths.
That's right.
That's where collaboration comes in. You're only working with your strengths and you're outsourcing the rest with other people. So that's why collaboration is key.
I love that. Yes, when you know yourself, it makes it so much easier for you. And you don't have to be freaking good at everything, people. I'm not. But what you need to be able to do is identify the people you can work with who fill the holes that you have got. And that makes you both stronger and gets you where you want to go. So
Absolutely.
Awesome. Where can people contact you? Best way is that your email or website?
Yeah, so they can. Yeah, so probably so through Zenarah, ZENARAH.com.
Yeah, and
they join up there. And actually, if they do join up there today, we also want to be able to give them a $100 voucher for one of the shops that are on there as well. So all they've got to do, join up, send us an email on the contact page there and say, hey, give us the voucher. And it'd be our pleasure to actually send them the voucher as well. So that's one way there. And also through my my first business, firstaid.yucan2.com, on the contact page there. So that's spelt YUCAN2.com, and first aid in front of that. If they do that, and then they can connect with me there and ask on anything that I've shared today or anything else that they'd like to know.
Oh, thank you so much, Tammy. People, I urge you to connect with Tammy. What we've heard today has been just a little tip of the iceberg of the person that Tammy Richie is. And I think there's a hell of a lot more underneath that we haven't had the time to explore today. And so if you want to know a bit more about Tammy, connect with her. The details are below and see what she has to say. Rewind, listen to the parts of this particular show because there are immense gold nuggets in there. The stories that Tammy shared that she has walked, the path that she has walked, there is no reason why you can't take the lessons from that to adapt to your path and walk your path to be who you want to be. Thank you, Tammy, for being with us. I absolutely appreciate your time and your energy.
Thank you, Trisha. It's been absolutely amazing.
Awesome. People, you've been watching Get Known, Be Seen Web TV. And Get Known, Be Seen Web TV has 2 parts. The first part is for people to come on and take that 60 seconds of insane courage, as Tammy was mentioning. Get up there, get be seen, shout out about your message, your product, your book, your business, whatever it is. This is the place where you can come and showcase who you are, what you're doing, and let people connect and see with you. The second part of Get Known, Be Seen Web TV is where I have experts who come on, who share their tips, their strategies, their techniques on how you too can step up. So if you'd like to be a guest in either section of that, just put a comment below or connect me. My details are below and we'll book you on. Now, if you would like me to be a guest on your show or to speak at your event on your stage, whether it's online or offline, again, just contact me. I'd love to come and share my story and be able to be there, maybe to touch some of the people that you have in your community. Don't forget, there is here a big, huge button that says subscribe. So make sure you hit that button before you leave here, because that will mean that you will be always notified when there's a new guest on Get Known, Be Seen Web TV. And that means you will never miss out on the awesome people that I have, just like Tammy, who shared her story with us today. Thank you for watching. Get out there. Tap into the energy you have within you. Do your gratitude. Work on your breathing. But most important, be you and step up and share. Thanks for watching. Bye.